like to thank our sponsors, first off, for the evening, Hampton Roads Academy and the Peninsula Community Foundation. And at this time, we'd like to welcome the headmaster of Hampton Roads Academy, Mr. Peter Mertz.
Thank you so much. It is my very great pleasure to welcome Impact 100 once again to Hampton Roads Academy. We're proud to host you here. You are a 501c3. All of you grant finalists are 501c3. HRA is a 501c3. And as a 501c3 organization, we enjoy certain benefits granted to us by the federal, state, local governments in recognition of our service to the community, of the role that we play in making our community a better place to be. We're proud to host you because we, as an independent school community, believe strongly in what you do for the betterment of our community. We believe in service to others. In fact, our short, concise mission statement states that Hampton Roads Academy is an inclusive community of service coming first, compassion and excellence, and it prepares students to excel intellectually, artistically, physically, and morally for higher education and for life. In fact, service is ingrained in our HRA curriculum. Our senior class this year will complete more than 4,000 hours of community service. That translates to 167 full days, or more significantly, 500 8-hour days. That level of service every year at HRA has since our school was founded nearly 60 years ago. Many of you in this room are graduates of HRA and learned that lesson, I hope, right here in these halls. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today. I hope next year to welcome you in our new dining hall in Lower School. We're still under construction. We hope to open that in January. I hope that all of you will come back and see the continued transformation that the generosity and support of our community has given us in recognition of what our role is in the community. We're pleased to be a part of your efforts here tonight and all year round. We wish you the greatest success now and in the future. Welcome, and even more importantly, thank you.
Welcome the Peninsula Community Foundation, Mike Monteith.
So I'm Mike Monteith, and I'm with Peninsula Community Foundation. I am so excited to be here tonight. In fact, I'm so excited to be here that... What?
What are you doing?
I'm talking to these great ladies out here.
Okay, it's my turn to speak. I'm sorry. I thought we had it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
But I was so excited, I even bought some new socks.
I'll give you that credit. Yeah. I got the heels.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Brandley.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Brandley with the Peninsula Community Foundation. You just met our CEO, Mike Monteith, and his pink socks. We've been the sponsor for Impact 100 Greater Peninsula since the beginning, and we're thrilled to see it continue to grow. One of our main focuses at the foundation is to link donors to important causes in our community, and Impact 100 does just that. By managing funds like Impact 100, we're able to collect donations that are tax deductible to the donor and hold them until the grants are presented. Because the members, such as you, give so generously, you have been able to grant $310,000 to local nonprofits to date. And we are ready to give out over $100,000 tonight. We just want to thank you for being part of our family, and we look forward to many more years of
your support, and we thank you so much. We also have other thank yous that you'll find in your program this evening, so make a point of checking those out. It takes a strong team of volunteers to make Impact 100 run, and we need to thank our steering committee. So if they're in the room, we'd like them to stand up, please. Tonight, we are thrilled to announce that we have 208 members of Impact 100, and we have brought together $119,000 this year.
We've had the opportunity to gather at events over the past year. Many of you have opened your homes to host Little Joins, which has been a way for us to share about Impact 100. Thank you to those of you who have hosted. We were also honored at the Lionsbridge soccer game this summer, and tonight we have the privilege to donate work clothes for the Salvation Army to help women applying for jobs. We want to encourage every single one of you to renew your membership tonight. If you are in a circle, consider starting a new circle. This is how we will grow not only our membership, but our ability to give even more money back and bring more women into this awesome group. Tonight you can renew online or by filling out your pledge card that is in your packet, and we can collect them at the end of the evening. When you renew, make sure you have your email address so we can keep in touch with you, send you updates and information, and then you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're very active. This is one of my favorite nights of the year. My husband gets a big kick out of it when I say that. He's like, yeah, birthdays and anniversaries, but this is your favorite night. Okay, one of my most favorite nights. Because we get to give out over $100,000. That's amazing. We give that back to our community. But tonight is even more special for me because I have the honor and the privilege to announce that we have created, the steering committee, has created the Heels for Change Legacy Society in honor of Mary Blaylock. We lost a wonderful and philanthropic lady when she passed away earlier this year after a 13-year battle with ovarian cancer. Mary was one of our founding members, and she believed very deeply in Impact 100, what we do and how we're helping and changing communities. She was always very supportive, very encouraging, and I'm sure if any of you knew her, she talked about impact to anybody and everybody that would listen. Courtney Gardner said it best when she said, Mary deserves to be recognized for what she did to improve our society. But knowing Mary, she would want all of us to be recognized for what we are going to do to shape our future. And that is why Impact 100 exists. That is why Mary supported it. And why we have created, or we are establishing, a membership scholarship to give to a deserving young woman in Mary's honor. There will be more information and more details coming to you in the next few weeks, but we are so just honored to be able to do this for her and to provide someone who might not be able to be a part of Impact the opportunity to be a part. I would like to thank Ward and Marnie Blaylock, who are here tonight, her husband and her daughter, and just tell them how grateful we are for supporting this that we're doing. So thank you. Welcoming back our 2018 grant recipients so that they can share with us some updates from the past year. First, I would like to welcome the Downtown Hampton Child Development Center.
Hi, I'm Heather Livingston, the Executive Director of Downtown Hampton Child Development Center. I can tell you it's a whole lot easier to be here tonight than it was last night. This is a fun night. What am I going to do? This is cool. So we have but we thought, and it's really rare, you guys, that we bring one of our babies, because it's their bedtime. But we thought it was really important that you see what your money was doing, what your money still is doing. So,
Good evening, excuse me. My name is Akila Minga, like Ms. Livingston just said. I am the toddler room teacher at Downtown Hampton Child Development Center. I've been with Downtown Hampton Child Development Center for 4 years. Time has flown. I am here to say thank you all on behalf of the students and families of the Tyler classroom. The classroom is changing lives. The learning and socializing experiences these students are having is building for their future jobs, personal and intellectual skills. A prime example of this is Kalila, my wonderful guest. I told her when we were sitting down, I said, I'm nervous, and I'm glad you're here with me. And she looked at me and she was like, you're never nervous, because we're always dancing in the classroom and having fun. But I'm glad she joined me tonight. She started out a little emotional in the mornings. Your generous grant has provided the time and resources for my assistant and myself to build with Kalila. We put into place a lesson plan on feelings, using puppets and other materials in the classroom to assist Kalila in coping with a new environment, which a lot of my students had issue with that at the very beginning. Now she is our classroom greeter. Whenever we have special visitors, I can count on Kalila to give them an excited hello, followed by a heartfelt hug. Tonight we have her mother with us, Ms. Evans. Would you please give her a round of applause? As you can tell, her heart is very, very large, and she loves to hello with us. I would like to say thank you from me for making my job of molding our youth easier. With this new classroom came an opportunity for my own growth. I was actually promoted to lead teacher because of our new classroom. And I was also able to encourage the growth of our youth along with myself, my personal growth. Thank you to Impact 100 for helping myself and my students do great things. Again, thank you so very much.
Thank you all so much. Next, we have Versability.
Let's just say that is a tough act to follow. Good evening, I'm Kasha Chilkovsky, and I have the privilege of serving as the CEO of Versability Resources. We want to thank you, Impact 100, for the gift you have given to young people with disabilities and their families. I'm honored tonight to share the transformational impact that your grant provided in the first year, because this is a 2-year grant, and so we are poised to do even more. What started last year with Jonathan's story grew to become the story of many other students with disabilities, thanks to Impact 100. Your support provided the funding for Versability to launch our Summer Academy, continue the Ready to Work program, and provide an annual student transition fair for students with disabilities and their families, who are always looking for resources to make this a successful transition from high school. Over 100 students with disabilities and their families connected with resources and experience that help them make a successful transition from high school to employment. Students in our Summer Academy and Ready to Work program participated in job shadowing and job exploration all across the region at Taste Unlimited, Sumitomo Drive Technologies, Busch Gardens, IKEA, Newport News Fire Department and city offices, Burlington Medical, and many more. Very diverse employers and diverse experiences, exposing them to future opportunities. With the help of volunteer business representatives, students with disabilities developed resumes and practiced their interview skills, so they are better prepared to excel in school, work, and life. Some families shared the following. Ready to Work helped Dalton see what lies ahead after high school. Taylor learned how to speak up for herself and ask questions. She felt confident while participating in the Summer Academy job shadowing. Thanks for making this an exceptional experience. We are working with educators and employers to increase employment opportunities for high school students with disabilities, as we need these solutions to be both scalable and sustainable. This is a community solution that we must craft together. First Ability collaborated with 5 school divisions, offering our resources so we all contribute to preparing students for successful employment in high-demand fields. We will continue and grow these partnerships and more into the future. We also engaged over 50 businesses around the benefits of hiring people with disabilities and how they can easily integrate these capable employees into their workplaces. I am now happy to share the faces of students for whom you have opened the door of opportunity and a future of promise. Can we play the video, please? Jonathan continues to thrive both at home and on the job. But our collective work is just beginning. In year 2 of the grant, First Ability will expand our programs, reaching more students and families and helping them prepare for life after high school. And tonight, we are very proud to announce a partnership with Hampton City Schools to build a system of support so students with disabilities successfully complete the Maritime Academy and graduate ready to meet the workforce needs of our region. that all students participate in academic experiences, personal development, and work-based learning experiences, and graduate ready for college, career, and life. Thank you, Impact 100, and each and every one of you who generously support this. Thanks to you, we were able to launch new services, leading to new opportunities for students with disabilities. Thank you for helping all abilities shine and creating bright futures for young people with disabilities and their families. Thank you. And now we also have a quick other video, if we can cue that. This is a huge thank you on behalf of both Downtown Hampton Child Development Center and Versability Resources. We also have a partnership so that from the youngest age, we're all working together to support our community. So that's very exciting. Now, it is time for the fun part. We get to hear from the final grant presenters. We will be calling each organization up by name. Each of our finalists will have 7 minutes, and we will give you 2 warnings, but we'll be very strict on time. We're sorry. Okay? So, first up tonight is the Center for Child and Family Services.
My name is Ellen Williams, and I'm the Director of Behavioral Health Services at the Center for Child and Family Services. The center has been serving the citizens of Peninsula for 76 years, and I've been there over half of that. With our mission is to provide quality behavioral health services so that people can improve their lives. I like to say that out of our 22 programs, we are in the business of transforming lives. 3 years ago, I had the honor of standing up here with shaking knees to ask you to fund our program, our launch program, which helps youth aging out of foster care. I'm so excited to tell you that since that time, we have served 71 young adults. And against all odds for some of these young people, all of them have either graduated from high school or started a GED program. 2 of them joined the military. 3 started college. And 70% of them found employment. In other words, with your support, they have now been supportive and functioning members of our community. But as we served this population, one thing became really evident. These young adults needed a safe place and affordable place to live. And I don't know how many of you out here have recently tried to find an apartment for your adult child. It's pretty ugly. It's hard to find something that is safe and affordable under $800. A year ago, the Bernardine Franciscan Sisters provided us with funding so that we could buy a 2-bedroom condo in Hampton to house males. These are all young men leaving foster care. It's been a wonderful program. We have a young man in there right now who just left foster care just about a month ago. And he is working full-time and will start Christopher Newbark College in January. Tonight, though, I'm asking for your support so we can purchase a 2-bedroom condo for females. This house would house females residing in Hampton who are 18 to 24, aging out of foster care, but above all, living in either homeless or living in unstable housing. The need is enormous. In Hampton alone, there are 76 youths in high school, females. 43 of them are females. So out of 76, 43 females are living from couch to couch or in their cars and trying to attend high school. I don't have a whole bunch of bells and whistles to convince you of the need. But what I can give you is a couple stories of young women that are waiting right now to find a place to live. One is 18. She will be leaving foster care soon. She's been in foster care, in so many foster cares we can't even keep track of, her whole life. But her dream is, when she gets out of foster care, that she has a good place to live so she can start Thomas Nelson and pursue a medical degree. The other is a 20-year-old, and she is a perfect example of why we need this. She aged out of foster care 2 years ago, but she's gone from couch to couch in living situations that often can be violent or surrounded by drugs. Because of these circumstances, she's not been able to finish her GED or get sustainable employment. She's a good example of why we need a safe place for people to live. So 1 year from now, with your support, we would be able to have a safe place and provide young women like this a place to live at night and be able to pursue their dreams. Our outcomes for success for all of these young women will be that within 6 months to a year, they're going to be able to afford their own apartment. They're going to learn how to budget. They're going to get counseling. They're going to obtain employment. And they're either going to complete their education or begin pursuit of further education or vocational training. With your support, we would purchase this condo for females, some furniture to supply, to furnish them so they have a place to sleep on it, and pay for rent. And also the staff, part of the part-time, where the staff would be able to help them to provide all the things that Launch provides, which is counseling, job readiness, case management, and we help place them in jobs. One beautiful thing about this project is that if you fund this project, we will have purchased a house, a place for these to live, which means 3 to 4 women will have a place to live for decades to come because it's already paid for. We've proven by our last award that we are good stewards of your money, and we take that seriously. We took that Launch program and we not only made it bigger, but we expanded it so for decades to come, we can support people. Most of us sitting in this room cannot imagine your daughter sleeping under a bridge, sleeping in a car, engaging in survival sex, not having a place to shower, not having a place to do laundry, but still trying to get up in the morning and go to school or work. I have heard it said that transformation is an ongoing process that tends to appear ordinary, when in fact, something extraordinary is taking place. We're asking for your support so we can provide the ordinary comforts of a safe home, so these women can be transformed into the extraordinary adults who someday may be sitting in this auditorium paying it forward. I want to thank you for this opportunity to present our program, and above all, I want to thank you for all you do to transform this community.
Next up, we're going to hear from Child Development Resources.
Congratulations, you're a new mom. Your baby is so sweet.
Isn't she? Is she? She cries all night long. I don't know what I'm doing.
Being a mother is the best job in the world.
It sure is. This motherhood gig is hard. I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted, but I can't sleep.
You look great for just having a baby.
Thanks. I barely eat, and I haven't showered in 3 days.
Isn't breastfeeding your baby such a beautiful experience?
Yes. My baby won't latch. I'm crying, the baby's crying. I can't even feed my own child.
She has the best smile.
She does. I haven't bonded with her yet. What's wrong with me?
It's great your mom's here to help.
It sure is. I feel lost, all alone. I'm not quite sure anyone can help me get through this. I just want to go to sleep, and I'm responsible for this baby. What can I do?
When a baby is born, so is the mother. Many new moms may experience self-doubt and a deep loneliness. Some may have breastfeeding difficulties and not know where to turn for help. You probably know that breast milk is the best first food for babies. You may even know that it protects babies from diseases and that breastfeeding mothers sleep better than mothers who don't breastfeed.
But did you know that women who receive breastfeeding support tend to breastfeed longer than moms who don't?
You probably know that mothers who suffer from depression have a harder time bonding with their babies. You may even know that this lack of attachment has detrimental effects on the baby's health and development.
But did you know that mothers who learn infant massage in these early months can better respond to their babies and experience less stress?
You probably know that some women experience the baby blues after giving birth. But did you know that 1 in 5 women will suffer from postpartum depression and anxiety? So take a second to look around you. Many moms in this room right here may have struggled with postpartum depression and anxiety. Sadly, many moms are not with us because suicide is one of the leading causes of death in women the first year postpartum.
But did you know that moms who participate in support groups feel less isolated and can learn coping strategies to get them through this difficult time?
We work with families who are at high risk due to poverty, mental health concerns, military stresses, children with developmental delays, trauma. These groups are more likely to feel isolated and to have fewer social supports in place. These risk factors, along with the hormones of pregnancy and the postpartum period, put the family at high risk for poor maternal and child health outcomes. CDR launched its Responsive Motherhood program to fill a gap in services that we identified in the community. Breastfeeding support and postpartum services in our area are not adequate to meet the needs of mothers. We provide breastfeeding and postpartum support groups, home visits, and infant massage classes. Our impact continues to build, and our goal is to reach a more diverse group of mothers. We believe that all mothers deserve a village, a safe place to connect, to receive support, and to gain confidence. With the support of the Impact 100 grant, over the next year, we will train Black, African American, and Latina lactation consultants who look like and speak the language of the mothers we are trying to reach. We will expand our services, including support groups, for those people who may not come to find us for a variety of reasons. They don't have transportation, there's a language barrier, or they don't look like other members of the group. We know that they are more likely to participate if they are invited by someone from their own community. And we will sustain our program by building a network of community resources and peer support for new mothers, because it really does take a village.
CDR is committed to this program as part of our core mission. We have a long history of forging relationships with community partners, and we will continue to search for other funding opportunities. We are currently working with King of Glory Lutheran Church in Williamsburg, and are hoping to partner with other churches where our Latina community worships. Your generosity will allow us to train more staff and expand our services to a more multicultural population. Your transformational gift will have a lifelong impact on the bond between these mothers and their babies. There is no other program like this in our area, so without us, the need is not met. Shall I say that again? Without us, the need is not met. With your help, we can affect health and developmental outcomes. We can support bonding and attachment and in turn prevent child abuse. We can change a mom's thoughts from, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, to I am a good mom, I will be a responsive mother, I can do this. We can give more mothers and babies the start they deserve. We wholeheartedly believe in this mission, and we want to continue to make a difference one mom at a time. In the words of one of our mothers, no one warned me how hard motherhood would be. Everyone thought I was happy, but inside I was slowly wasting away. I was feeling beyond desperate, and you provided hope and a warm, safe roof to come to every week, for free. For these incredible gifts, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Listen, motherhood doesn't come with a manual, but success comes from women supporting women. We are better together.
Hi, how are you and the baby doing?
We're doing well. I really am doing well. I found my village.
We are honored to be here tonight with such deserving agencies.
We cannot say thank you enough to all of you who are making such a difference in this community.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenters, James River Association.
Hello, Impact 100. My name is Nat Draper. I'm so excited to be here tonight. I work for the James River Association, and I'm an environmental educator. I've been with the James River Association for the past 5 years, but I've been an environmental educator for 22 years, first in the public school sector, and now with the nonprofit, the James River Association. If you haven't heard about the James River Association, our mission is to be guardians of the James River. And the river, just so you know, if you haven't, probably already know this, some of you, we started 43 years ago, and the river wasn't a really safe river 43 years ago. It was heavily polluted with industrial waste, sewage, and a pesticide that was manufactured in Hopewell, Virginia. Some of you might remember this. It was called Kepone. And Kepone was a pesticide that got into the river and moved up the food chain and got into the fish, and if humans ate the fish, the Kepone got into you. So the governor at the time actually closed the river for commercial fishing. And this was probably the sad, tragic point of the James River, you know, America's founding river. And so we that were formed then And like I said, our mission is to be guardians of the river, and we have decided now that our vision is to educate as many kids as possible to help prevent us from ever getting into that spot again. So we do this by getting kids on the river in canoes, kayaks, and in Richmond we have a pontoon boat that helps take them to our ecology school. Well, in Williamsburg, our ask is a mobile ecology school as well. We would like to be able to put students on a large boat, up to 36 students, and educate kids throughout the peninsula. Hampton, Newport News, Williamsburg, and York counties. We presently educate about 3,000 students now in our Jamestown office in Williamsburg, and we do a lot of canoe-based education. So one of the reasons I brought Nash here today is Nash was one of our first advocates here in Williamsburg. I met her 3 years ago at Lafayette High School. And I'm going to let her kind of tell you how she became an advocate of the James River. And like I said, we're trying to educate kids so we never get back to that polluted state of the river. So here's Nash.
Hi everyone, my name is Nash McDowell. Like Matt said, we met about 3 years ago. I started working with the James River Association as a sophomore in high school. The first program I worked with the association was the James River Leadership Academy. With the James River Leadership Academy, I wrote a children's book as a community-based action project. That children's book incorporated the 3rd grade science SOL curriculum. And with that book, I went into the elementary school in Williamsburg that I attended, and I taught 3rd grade students. The principle behind that was that the earlier students learn about how important the river is and how impactful it is and how much it can change our lives, the more they can do to help protect it. The second program I did was the James River Expeditions. We broke the river up into 3 sections and groups of 15 students paddled. I paddled the Middle James, that was about 90 miles of the river, in 5 days, and it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Camping on the riverside and doing hands-on experiments, it changed me, and that is why I've been in love with the river ever since. I could not imagine doing anything else other than this.
So the Mobile Ecology School, I wanted to kind of give you some 4 facts about how it will help us. Fact number 1 is it'll let us move the boat to maybe Fort Monroe or Hampton Marina, and we could bring students from Hampton Public Schools like Kicquetan, Hampton, Phoebus, and they wouldn't have to take the 45-minute bus ride up to Williamsburg in each way. We'd stationary the boat right down there, and students could jump on. While they're on the boat, they would be doing really cool hands-on science. Obviously, I brought this here to talk about it. It's a crab pot. Students, we would have crab pots already in the water, and they would be able to pull them up and investigate, obviously, what's inside. We teach them about the difference between males and females and how large they have to be for us to harvest them, and they would get to touch them. We also we have a permit to use a 15-foot trawl net. This is a large net that we would pull on the bottom of the river, and we would pull up different species of fish, and we talk about fish adaptations, and we would talk about different food chains and food webs that the students would need to know. All of our education correlates with the standards of learning. And so we have basically lots of lessons that teachers can kind of pick and choose from. So if it's a 7th grade life science, we're definitely talking about life science activities. If it's a 6th grade activity, we might be focused more on watersheds. Another thing I wanted to let you know is that we currently educate 3,000 students at our Williamsburg office, but we only educate 6th through 12th grade because the on-the-water activity is canoeing. And you know it would be harder for younger students to do that. So having the mobile ecology school will let us educate from K all the way through 12th. Another fact would be that we can help with students with disabilities. We would be able to get them on the mobile ecology school, and they would also be able to benefit and see the beautiful James River and all its natural resources. One last thing I wanted to tell you is that this would give us better access when it comes to educating youth and also high school students and preparing them for the next generation. Nash was a sophomore when she first met me and got involved with our education, and now she's in college and she's getting ready to major in environmental science. And that is kind of the connection that we hope. Creating advocates for the future will be the best way to prevent the James River from ever going into those times of the 60s and 70s, where it really was one of the most polluted rivers in all of America. So I wanted to kind of wrap up by thanking you so much for your support, and we look forward to working with you in the future, hopefully.
You did a dirty job, the crab pot. Oh, it is good. Well, thank you both so much. Next up, we're going to hear from Old Town Medical Center.
Good evening. Good evening. Ah, there you are. My name is Kendra Robinson, and I am the clinical director for Old Town Medical and Dental Center. We are located in James City County, and we provide primary care to lower income families, Medicaid population, and some Medicare. Over 77% of our patients are uninsured. We provide everything from geriatrics to pediatrics. But tonight, I'd like to highlight our prenatal services. We serve approximately 360 pregnant women every year. And for those women, we offer all kinds of wraparound services. We have OB case management, we offer free dental screenings, we offer prenatal and postpartum depression screening, and we have on-site psychiatric services for women who need those particular services. I'm here tonight to advocate for our most vulnerable population, our unborn babies. In addition to offering our prenatal care, we provide ultrasounds on site for our patients. Our problem is our ultrasound machine is dying. Most women, when they begin their prenatal care, they have 2 ultrasounds, one for dating and another for morphology, and make sure all the organs are working properly and everything is healthy with the baby. Our ultrasound machine is beginning to fail. It's important that we have a working ultrasound machine because it helps us create connections between moms and babies. When I was newlywed and all excited and was pregnant, we went to the doctor and I had this ultrasound, and it was great, it was exciting, but something changed when I saw that little blip on the screen. I fell in love. And I knew that I would do whatever I had to do to have a healthy pregnancy so that I could meet this little person who had stolen my heart. That is the connection we try to make with our moms. Many of our moms have multiple socioeconomic barriers that prevent them from that connecting. Without our ultrasound machine, we're unable to properly facilitate that connection. Our machine has millennial disease. What I mean by that is the computer is so old that it will not recognize a date of birth after 1999. That's a problem. The machine that we have now was a cast-off donation from a physician's office, and we got it years and years ago, and we were very grateful to have it. However, technology changes from second to second, and right now what we have is just not usable. It's so old that the pictures are not working. The vaginal probe that we use for dating ultrasounds has died. We're unable to give pictures to our moms because it's fuzzy on the screen. Our doctor, Dr. Lankowski, who was able to be here tonight, is unable to use it for dating ultrasounds. And when I began, I told you that over 77% of our women are uninsured. And in order to give them a proper due date, we have to refer them to the hospital now to have a dating ultrasound. That creates another cost for them, another barrier, another thing they have to decide about. Do I get a dating ultrasound? Do I buy groceries for the kids? In our clinic, we really try to provide wraparound service for these patients. We want to make sure that they get top-notch care regardless of their ability to pay for it. Without a working machine, we're falling short. It'll give us some information, but simple things that we should be able to do, like check amniotic fluid index, fetal viability, detect a heartbeat, is becoming more and more difficult. We're afraid that our machine will die in the midst of us trying to provide care. Not only does it provide pictures for our patients, but it gives them peace of mind. When our pregnant moms come in and they have a care or worry about not feeling their baby move, without the ultrasound, we're not able to say, oh, I see the heartbeat. I see your baby moving. It's creating a barrier. We're asking for a one-time gift to purchase a new ultrasound machine. The one-time gift will impact hundreds of women, thousands of women. We're really trying to provide top-notch care to women who are deserving of it. Every mom should be able to feel excited about her pregnancy. Every mom should be able to get the kind of care that she deserves, whether she can pay for it or not. Due to changes in technology, machinery is getting more and more expensive. We provide case management to our ladies. We have an OB doctor. We have hundreds of women that we see, and we're trying to provide support staff as well. It gets difficult cost-wise. So we're asking for a gift so that we can get a new ultrasound machine for our women. Dr. Lankowski, who is our OBGYN provider, was not able to be here tonight, but she wanted me to share these words. It's a travesty that women must wait to have an ultrasound when it could be done in the office. Having to send our women to the hospital creates a problem because they have to wait to have an appointment. Is there availability? Will they get a bill? When they go to the hospital, they watch the imaging performed while the technician tells them nothing. They're unable to give the information at the time of the screening or the ultrasound. The patient then returns to talk to the doctor, and that could be 2 weeks later. So for women with a major concern, this is a problem. Their anxiety is higher, and it causes us more resources as our lead nurse has to contact these women. We get them into psych because they're anxious. With newer equipment in the office, this problem could be avoided. So we thank you for the opportunity. We thank you for hearing us out tonight, and we hope that you'll consider us as we look to get a new machine so that we continue to provide top-notch care to the women who seek our services. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we're going to hear from Thomas Nelson Educational Foundation.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Calloway, Executive Director for the Thomas Nelson Community College Educational Foundation. The foundation is dedicated to advancing and financially supporting educational excellence at Thomas Nelson Community College. For over 50 years, Thomas Nelson Community College has been changing lives, empowering students to succeed, and enhancing the civic and economic vitality of the Peninsula community through high-quality education and workforce training. What you may not know is that 63% of Thomas Nelson students come from populations typically underrepresented in higher education, including minorities, low-income, and first-generation college students. And you may be surprised to learn that over 58% of Thomas Nelson degree-seeking students rely on financial aid to enroll. You probably heard recently that Thomas Nelson and community colleges nationwide are experiencing enrollment declines at a time when the need for an affordable higher education option is at an all-time high. An improving economy with readily available employment, coupled with the increasing costs of college tuition, have left many students with a financial gap between the full cost of enrollment and their available financial aid and personal household resources needed to continue their education without taking on expensive student loan debt to make up the difference. This summer, the Thomas Nelson Foundation launched a project to bridge this gap for more than 200 students who would otherwise be dropped from classes due to an inability to pay. To date, the foundation has preserved 24 students who earned a total of 257 credit hours at a total cost of only $14,784. Antonio Dill-Word is one of those students. While at Thomas Nelson, he became a student leader and was at the top of his classes academically, but he faced a financial gap to complete his last class for his degree.
Sorry about that. Good evening. My name is Antonio Dill-Word. I am a recent graduate of Thomas Nelson Community College. I am a new student at the College of William and Mary. But aside from all of that, I'd rather you guys call me with what I'm mostly known by. Tony. A student who is a volunteer for foster care services, a giver to the community, an active student at both of my schools, and a student who has a dream of eventually opening a boarding school for foster children to cover more than their bare necessities, helping them with their psychological needs, helping them develop skills and build their own families. And during my time at Thomas Nelson, I dedicated myself to this vision. I studied hard, and I earned a 3.93 GPA. I participated and I volunteered in multiple school organizations, and I helped develop a plan to take students on a cultural trip to France. However, and I also graduated with my associates in science and social science. However, this did not come without its hiccups. As a previous member of the foster care system, originally enrolling into school, I couldn't find my paperwork to have financial aid processing. I had an advisor step in and help me with that. Later on in the year, my adopted mother died, and I had to battle 18 credits and dealing with the death of my mother at the same time. And once again, my advisor stepped in, being my support team, consistently checking in on my grades as well as my life. The point here is this, that they saw something in me larger than my grades, but understood that school was a must-have to get whatever I wanted done. Then came this summer. Despite all of my hard work and support and the love and unshaken dedication of my advisors and mentors, we ran into a problem none of us were really prepared to face. I only needed one more class to graduate, and my Pell Grant would not cover it, and neither could I. After a few days of stressing and trying to figure out how I was going to make this happen, I received a notification from the financial aid system saying that I received a Bridge the Grant award. Honestly, I was confused and I wasn't sure on where it came from, but I was grateful. Sorry. And I come to realize that a group of people had stepped up and witnessed the need that I had and decided to award me this award. The Bridge the Gap Grant is an award that is simply bridging the gap between one college and the next. The Bridge the Gap Grant is the grant that's bridging the connection between where I'm at now and the foster children I intend to help in the future. And the greatest gift that you can give any community in general is the hope and the will to achieve the dream to give back to their community. Thank you for your time.
The amount that it took to change Tony's life was only 1% of the amount being awarded this evening. Your support support will impact 100 more students continuing in their education. And since this program is administered through the college's financial aid office in collaboration with the foundation, there are no program costs to sustain. 100% of the funds received will go directly to impact the enrollment of identified students who meet the economic and academic eligibility criteria. These college successes will get better jobs, contribute more to the common good as taxpayers, and lean on the government less for support throughout their lives. Bridge the Gap is equity in action. It offers more accessible, debt-free college education to those who might otherwise be left behind and who will ultimately give back in our communities. Thank you for your support, and we appreciate all you do.
Thank you. Next up, and lastly, we'll hear from Virginia Symphony Orchestra.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Statina. I teach band for Hampton City Schools, and my school is one of two that would receive the School Orchestra Artistic Residency Program, or SOAR for short, if you vote for the Virginia Symphony's proposal today.
And my name is Elizabeth Kane, and I'm an orchestra director for Williamsburg Public Schools. My school is a current participant in SOAR, and I'm here to represent the incredible results of this program. Between the two of us, we have 39 years experience teaching music, and we became teachers to instill the next generation with the benefits of the arts. Music has the power to connect people of diverse backgrounds, strengthen communities, and heal suffering. Music education boosts self-esteem, reinforces hard work, and enhances brain development. And these benefits stick with students for the rest of their lives. A recent study by the University of British Columbia showed that students who learn to play an instrument score higher in English, math, and science. The musicians of the VSO bring this powerful force into the lives of the students throughout Hampton Roads every year, regardless of age, socioeconomic status, race, gender, or physical barriers. Education is part of the VSO's DNA, and many of your children have attended one of the VSO's educational concerts, which are performed in every school division in Hampton Roads.
In our years of teaching, we have seen that while some students are motivated and empowered by academics, other students find their way through sports and the arts. And having world-class professional musicians from the VSO work with our Hampton music students would be like having LeBron James coach our basketball team. Just as students learn invaluable life lessons from coaches, even if they don't go pro, these students will see discipline modeled in musicians in the top of their field that will shape students' character beyond learning how to play an instrument. Even if music isn't your thing, you've heard how for some students it is the thing that changes their trajectory. Currently in Hampton, most students don't have access to private lessons. There isn't even a local music store in town. The leadership in Hampton City Schools has identified 2 high-need Title I middle schools where more than half of the students are considered economically disadvantaged, including Tarrant Middle School where I teach. A lot of my music students are homeless, struggling to have even their basic needs met. Music provides them consistency, stability, and emotional outlet, and for some of them, a sense of family that is not a part of their home life. With your vote tonight, you would provide funds to bring 8 musicians to teach at Tarrant and Lindsay Middle Schools 2 times per month throughout the year, providing expert instruction to 214 students As a band director, I have the challenge of teaching 9 completely different instruments all at once. Imagine the blessing of having 8 specialist teachers in my classroom, musicians who can instruct the students by section, play with them side by side, work with them one-on-one, which allows the student to have an immersive and personalized education. And the students wouldn't be the only ones learning. I will have my own instruction from these world-class musicians. You would love to hear me play percussion, but you do not want to hear me play the flute. These professional musicians have decades of experience perfecting their craft, and with their instruction and advice, I can further my own professional development as a teacher, making me better equipped to teach my non-binary instruments at a higher level.
This is my 7th year being involved with the SOAR program at Ward Hill High School. And I've seen all my students have such a boost in confidence from just one session. Here are 3 examples of what students have told me after working with their VSO mentors. Josiah, who plays the viola, said, "They're such good musicians and so good at what they do, and yet they take time to come and work with me and show me how to play. That makes me feel like one day I can play like they do." Alex, who plays the cello, said, "I have 2 full sheets of notes that I wrote down from that one session because I didn't want to forget anything she told me. It was so helpful." And then Isabella, who plays the violin, said, "At first, I was very nervous because I walked in and it was the Vaughn Armstrong." That's the concertmaster of VSO for those of you who don't know. This is the head honcho violinist. She said, "But then I started working with him, and he was really gracious and kind and had so many good ideas." She was just beaming with encouragement. And I've personally received professional development from VSO musicians. Now, I'm good at teaching my students to learn music, but when it comes to teaching bass, it's just a different animal. I'm a violinist, and there are specific tips about the bass that I may not have run across. So even when the bassist comes to work with my students, I go in and listen and ask questions. This has become an incredible investment in my teaching, and I believe that other teachers should have this investment too.
Since the VSO began SOAR in 2005, it has expanded to 5 cities and hopefully this year to Hampton. Each year, the VSO uses positive results from the previous school year to inspire additional funding and expand the program. Through last year's Portsmouth SOAR program, the VSO collected data through student surveys before and after the program, and the results were overwhelmingly positive. Before participating in the program, less than half of their 81 SOAR students felt proud of the work that they were doing. But by the end of the program, more than 90% of the students said they were proud of what they had accomplished. And the number of students with positive self-worth increased by 50%. As a parent, wouldn't you love to have a program that has this great an impact on your child's confidence and pride in their hard work? This is a life lesson which in the education world we call a growth mindset, which is the belief that anyone can learn anything if they apply themselves. This foundation is a key to student success, not to mention gender and economic equality. But we cannot get started without you. This program has the power to truly transform young people into successful students, citizens, and human beings. And your vote this evening will provide an opportunity that would otherwise not be possible for these students. Thank you.
Well, we've come to that final point where the voting is going to start. At this point, I think, Jennifer, you're going to come back and share with us a little about how to do the vote. Each of you should either have a handheld device or each circle, one person in it, or you should maybe have a piece of paper if you don't have a device. The way it's going to work is all the finalists will be listed up here, A through F, the 6 finalists. Your voting device is going to have a letter and number. You just go by
by the letters, and you have 2 votes. You're going to vote at the same time. So what you'll do is you'll pick two separate letters. You can't vote the same organization twice. So you'll, for example, you might do A and F, C and D, whichever you want to vote for, but you're going to pick, and we'll let you know when you can start the vote. But it's basically you hit 2 letters, A through F, and you're done. And we'll have people walking around to help if you have any questions or anything, and we'll let you know when everything's geared up and we can start the vote. Right. Yeah, so just hit 2 separate letters. You can't hit the same letter twice. So we'll give you about 10 minutes, no longer, and they'll walk around and let you know when you can do your vote. Okay, at this point you can start voting if you'd like. You've already made your decision.
No, the red light's off and you go to the second vote.
When you're ready, you can start voting.
Anybody, are you guys done with your quicker?
And all I have to do is just hit the 2 numbers. All I have to do is push our 2 letters.
Yes, have you done it yet? Sorry. Press your first choice. Did you press your first choice? Yes. Okay, press your first choice.
We don't know yet.
Oh.
Yes. Shoot me. this year. I served on this group. It's going to be this women and stuff. I think a lot of people that are in the audience that have actually visited these places, so maybe they're grants to do that. I know Jim was on the committee for where did she go? She wouldn't talk to me then. Oh, hey!
look just the same, right? You do. I look what, just like I did when I was 5 years old. I don't know what I don't know that, but I will tell you, you look the same ever since I first met you. You have not aged a bit. Oh, come on. There are a lot of people. You have not aged at all. A garden. Yeah, I know that. Yes, yes. Oh, God. I was a tailor neighbor. Jason Wood is living in my parents' house with Lauren in her house. I'm David Wood is the last daughter. Ooh, not now, no. There's a reason why it's not now. I love the earrings like a bundle.
We could get everyone back in their seats, please.
and have to tell Tiller to stop talking. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Courtney Gardner. I'm one of the past chairs of Impact 100. I like to tell people my favorite role is has-been. You know, that person that you did it, and then you're over, and it's a has-been. Fortunately, when you're a has-been, when things don't get filled, they go has-been. Can you do those for us? So I've been has-beening a couple roles this year. The first one I'd like to thank each and every one of you is for the clothing drive, for the Goodwill, for their Change for Work closet. Ladies, you filled the bin tonight. More importantly, this was our second clothing drive, and thus far you've helped 4 women transition out of poverty or out of prison back to work, who now have a closet that they're ready to go to work. So congratulations. The second role that has been filled this year was to be in charge of the capacity grants. In practice, nonprofit capacity building refers most often to those activities that are designed to improve the performance of an organization by strengthening its leadership, management, or administration. We had 15 applications this year that were narrowed down to the steering committee, and we sent them on to you, to membership, for ranking and review. Because of your hard work and effort, because we surpassed our $100,000 goal this year, for the second time, we're able to award these grants. But for the first time, we're able to award each and every one of the 6 fundraisers. To inform you that Smart Beginnings will receive a $5,000 grant to hire a professional consultant to develop a fundraising plan. The Newport News Education Foundation will be awarded $4,024 to pay the dues and send 4 people to the conference of the National School Foundation Association in Philadelphia. The Newport News Green Foundation will receive $5,000 to hire a professional consultant to help the organization develop a strategic plan. Hampton Roads Philharmonic will receive $5,000 for a media campaign to raise awareness of the organization and help secure funds throughout the Virginia Peninsula. The Girl Scouts will receive $5,000 for a marketing and fundraising campaign targeted to expand outreach on the Virginia Peninsula. And lastly, Peninsula Catholic will receive $5,000 for staff training and use of fundraising software. Thank you to each and every one of you, your hard work and effort. How very exciting, and the night gets better and better. We are very excited to share with you all your winners for this year's grant money from Impact 100. Our first one is Old Town Medical. Center for Child and Family.
acknowledge all the finalists. Each year, this decision is tougher and tougher because there are so many deserving and amazing nonprofits in our community. Thank you to everyone for all that you do in our community and to help make our piece of the world better. We would like to make sure that you all please stay afterwards for photos. And again, this is my favorite night of the year because we just gave away back to our communities $112,000+ That is $439,000+ in 4 years, y'all. That is amazing. Thank you to all of you for being part of another amazing and wonderful year and helping to make an impact in our community. It's been a huge honor for Sydney and I to serve as the chairs for the last 2 years, but now it's time to pass the heels. We would like for Tasha Rose and Mary Catherine Hall to come up and accept their heels. We're so honored to pass on. Now the tenure begins. So, first of all, thank you to Sydney and Tricia, because honestly, we would not have had this year or the last 4 years without. And for all of you, we are heading into year 5. Can you believe that? Year 5. We are going to go over $500,000 next year when we give out money. Isn't that just amazing of what we've been able to give as a group of women together? So thank you. I think a lot of what we were going to announce this evening has already happened. Thank you so much for the pledge cards. They have come in amazingly, and we really appreciate the support going into next year. It's always awesome to start that way. But more than anything, I mean, I've been here in the ground level, and I can't thank you enough. This has been an amazing experience for me to see this many women come together and make such a change in our community. And thank you all and the winners, and not that you're not a winner. I am going to give to more organizations that I didn't even know about as a result of this, and I am so grateful to be exposed to it, and all I can say